No. We're not doing the intro again. We did it once and it was funny then. We're not going to do it twice. We'll just get right into it, I guess. Hey guys, this is the Big Sal, and well, uh, we're at it again, I guess, with my ongoing series on how I hate Geopols. Um, First of all, I want to say, wow, the response to the first video was amazing. As of recording this, it has around 80 views. It is the most viewed video on my channel by a long shot, by a wide margin. And I got so many people in the comments section being like, thank you for making this video. You know, I really appreciate it. I agree with what you're saying. I think you make a really great point. And I'm like, damn, dude, this is probably my best video to date. And so naturally, I want to capitalize on the success of the first one by making a mediocre but serviceable sequel. So, here we are. But this sequel has a bit of an X factor. You. That's right, you. I took all of the comments from that video and all of the response that I received elsewhere on the internet about this video, and I compiled it together for your viewing pleasure. Okay? And I felt like it was valuable to put this in because a lot of people had very valid criticisms of the video and suggestions for what I should have put in. I was reading the comments and I was like, damn, I should have put that in. And a good YouTube comment will make you think, damn, I should have put that in the video. A good YouTube comment will make you regret your life choices. So without any further ado, here we go. Just as a disclaimer before we start this, I am sorting the comments by news, so please do exercise caution watching this video. So our first comment is from my man Slimebore. Okay, this guy, I literally, with an hour left until the premiere of the video, saw one of his tweets, put it into the video, and re-uploaded the entire video because it was that good. It was at the very end. But Slimebore says, used to play a townie server where everything was fine until some beta tester decided he only wanted to kill and conquer everything. Didn't get punishment for many broken rules because he was beta tester and a generous donor. He just left one day because of some alleged relationship drama with a mod. Now, if I could sum up Geopols in one sentence, it probably sounds something like that. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't get punished, generous donor, alleged relationship with a mod. Where have I heard this one before? Also, very poetically, speaking of Roman, he lived in Russia, right? He was probably taken into army and might be in Ukraine. I think he was from Spain or Mexico. I heard both. It's not really that important. Alright, so our next comment is from MP5. Now, this guy likes to stir up the controversy, so naturally, he's commented, I agree on this video. And honestly, I mean, this is just like such a loaded comment, I don't even want to go into it right now. Cora says, good shit, which is surprising because he was the owner of Xylem. So, you know, that's surprising. Trent says, playing Overwatch over commentary like I'm back in 2015 YouTube. This is true. My main inspiration is Dunkey from 7 years ago, so naturally we're playing Overwatch. Trascan, Sal just slid in that picture of Rowan at the beginning, LMAO. Yeah, I did. Now we have another very controversial comment. I want everybody to just sort of brace themselves for this one. Dorime Emryrod says, very good vid, I give 9 out of 10. Now, obviously, this is just a complete loaded comment, and again, I don't want to, stir up the drama too much, so we're just going to skip over this. Alright, and now we're getting to the sort of meat and potatoes of this comment section. Half Fiction says, excellent analysis. As both a player and a previous and continuing Geopol owner, you could not be more on point with everything you've said here. Honestly, if there's anything I would change, it's to draw focus away from the scum that lives in these servers, and instead to how they're straight up boring after a week of playing. Everyone besides builders leaves within a month, and the real test of a Geopol server is whether or not you can gather a sufficiently large stream of new players to replace the old ones leaving. As a server owner, you watch all of this from above. I've written it down 6 months ago, but I still believe it works. Geopol servers are born on day 1 and either die on day 2 or a PvP clan joins on day 2, in which case day 3 begins where they attack the entire server and a massive coalition is built against them, and day 4 ends with either side winning, the other side leaving the server entirely, and the server dying on day 5. As a server owner, though, there's sadly no real way to fix everything that you've said here. Ban all toxicity and you've gotten rid of 50% of the player base. Allow toxicity and you're risking the builders leaving, who are your only real stable player base. A server owner has to balance between all of these groups and walk a very, very tight rope. The second you fall off, there's no coming back for a while. Suggestions like war don't work out. You add war, the server dies. You don't, the server dies of boredom. There's no solution. In fact, the only successful way to keep an Earth server going is to reset it every 3 months-ish. If it lasts longer, you're killing it of boredom. If it lasts shorter, you're losing your player base that might come back for the next one. In addition, the amount of criticism you receive from players who have very limited to no knowledge of how these servers run is extremely demoralizing. I can't blame Oxbit for being a bit tyrannical. I'm amazed at myself for only doing something similar once. Those are my 2 cents, and damn, you've just taken 15 minutes out of my sleep time. Excellent video though. I'll keep it in mind whilst managing my own server. Honestly, Half, thank you so much. This is a really good comment, and I just want to break it down here real quick. I think there is a very valid argument for these servers being boring after a week of playing, and the only reason that some last as long as they do is because of the builders. If you remember, Gamma Xylem, the USA was so big and so full of builders and role players that it just lasted forever and refused to die because people just wanted to build and do elections and stuff. So nobody was leaving, nobody was going anywhere. And yeah, the real test of a Geopols server is if you can gather a sufficiently large stream of new players. That was a huge issue back on Xylem Gamma. I remember this vividly. There were pretty much no new players, and whichever ones did join were gone within 5 minutes. And his summary of Geopols servers are born on day 1 and die on day 2, I mean, this is literally just so poignant, I can't even state it enough. This is literally every server I've ever been on. And he's correct when he says, as a server owner, there's no real way to fix everything. Honestly, looking back, I really don't blame Oxbit for being tyrannical and allying with Roman to keep his server interesting. I mean, if I were Oxbit and I were running a Geopols server with my own money out of my own pocket, and people were yelling at me constantly for not fixing the tiniest minute detail, I would be pretty mad too. I would be done with their shit too. So, honestly, Half, really great comment. I like the perspective of a Geopol server owner here. So, thank you. Thank you, my man. Koisov says, Geopol servers are boring because there is nothing to do once you make a town and build something. Geopol haters, this guy's on our side, so real quick, I'm about to make a video called Why I Now Love Geopols. No, but for real, Koisov does have a valid point here. They are pretty boring once you actually get your town settled. Vanuatu says, brilliant explanation of Geopol servers. Most of them today are the same with no unique differences. It's always towny in the same nations. One of the best Geopols I played on was LTFE. Unlike most servers, it had seasons that reset after 3 or 4 months, usually ending after a big war or community demand. As with each reset also came a different map, so nations aren't the same and people can have different experiences. The server was special in a way. It had a big PvP player base, the PvPers actually cared about the server, and that's what made it so fun. They were always on different factions, and so not one nation dominated the server. It wasn't the largest server, but it was still genuinely one of the best ones I played on. PvP clans didn't affect the server as you portrayed it to. Most players just accepted it and there was a massive war. There was always some staff bias, quite a bunch, but not enough to kill the server. Some of the people in community I met there I still talk with today. It's really fascinating how people you talked with for 2 years can still be your friends today. Now the second Geopol I wanted to talk about was Magneterra. Magneterra was a mixed bag for me. It had some fun moments, but overall I never got the excitement I had on LTFE. The best part of MT was Magna Europa when you joined. The PvP clan that came, Constantine and AJ, that took over the server, I knew them. But it really wasn't them that killed the server. I'd say more of a staff fault for the 3-week rollback. Shows how the owner can be the main downfall, not the players. Geopols were fun and exciting, but I never let them take over my life. Minecraft in general has been boring for me, and I spend my time exploring other games and opportunities. I mean, goddamn. Again, I want to break this down. Most servers are the same with no differences, and yeah, it is always the same nations. You always get the Soviet Union, you always get the German Reich, you always get like the British Empire, you always get the United States, you always get the Roman Empire, you always get the Byzantine Empire. It's so boring. After seeing the same dozen or so nations on every single server, you wonder, why am I still playing this if it's just going to be the exact same thing over and over again? There's no point, is there? I don't think so. I've heard of LTFE, but I never really played on it myself, and I do share your sentiment about how it's fascinating how people you talked with for 2 years can still be your friends today. I mean, I met everyone that I'm currently online friends with on Xylem Gamma, pretty much. Ramen, Iron, Cora, A-Dubs, people like that. I met all of those people on Xylem Gamma. That was in September 2020, and a year and a half later, I'm still talking with all of them, and I'm good friends with them. So, yeah, it is pretty crazy. And as for Magna Europa, I am so pissed in hindsight that I didn't mention the 3-week rollback, and I'm going to talk about it briefly right now. So, basically, we have no idea how, we have no idea why, but for some reason, all of the server's backups erroneously failed, and the server had to be rolled back 3 entire weeks, and we basically lost all of our progress. And not just the map, I mean items, I mean everything was rolled back. Buildings, The entire server was basically rolled back a month, and it caused everyone to go, well, this sucks now, and we don't want to play on the server anymore because we just lost all of our progress. And basically everybody left. And the staff's response to all of this happening was, just get your stuff back, you know? And it was just like, what? What? And once that rollback happened, everyone pretty much agreed, okay, this server is done, and we're gonna quit. Shows how the owner can be the main downfall and not the players? Yes, okay? Oftentimes, Geopols staff or owners will just get so tyrannical or apathetic that it just kills the entire server. And that happened in Magneterra, it happened with Earthpole, it didn't happen with Xylem yet, but, you know, Korra, we'll see. He might be on his Emperor Palpatine phase. I think since I quit Geopols, Minecraft has been pretty boring for me. I mean, I play some nighttime SMP, but, like, that's about it. That's about the limit of my Minecraft playing at this point. Other than nighttime SMP and some Sky Wars or Bed Wars here and there with my friends, I don't really play Minecraft anymore, because the main reason I played it was because of Geopols. That was, like, all I was doing. For weeks and months in quarantine, I was just on Geopols every day, just for hours. I remember it being a lot of fun, but now that Geopols are just like so boring and formulaic to me, it's just like, I don't even see a reason to play Minecraft anymore, you know? Occasionally one of my friends will ask me to hop on Sky Wars or Bed Wars, or I'll play some nighttime SMP, but other than that, I'm just bored of Minecraft now, and it's really sad, because Minecraft is one of my favorite games. It's been one of my favorite games since I was a kid, you know? And it is really depressing to see it sort of just be like this thing that I have now that I do sometimes, and not one of my favorite games anymore. Do I blame Geopols completely for this? No, I don't think so. But no doubt they had a pretty big part to play in making this game boring for me, which is another thing that I hate them for. Thanks a lot, Geopols. So yeah, Vanuatu, overall, really great comment. I love your arguments here. I mean, this comment section is really just a hotbed for controversy. Jax the Jedi, I agree with all of your statement here. This is just a horrendously rude and insensitive comment. Jax, what are you thinking, man? Come on. And the comment that I pinned by James V. A very insightful analysis here. If I'm being honest, I really hadn't considered what the server would look like in the period following its eventual release. And I think part of the problem was just the assumption that it would generally be the same but better. I think as the world opens back up, it might be the right move to start leaving Geopol servers in the past, but you made a good counter-argument about the community you found because of the server. I feel that perhaps in order to rekindle the fire that Xylem tried to get burning, it would need something equally foreign to replace it. Part of me wants to figure out what that would look like, part of me is wondering if it's worth the trouble anymore. Anyway, amazing video. Honestly, Geopols are very much a product of quarantine when people just had so much time on their hands and nothing to do with it that they could just sink hours and hours into Minecraft. I remember doing this on Xylem. I mean, that's basically how I spent the second half of quarantine, is on Xylem. And that was my quarantine, and it was fun. And then I did some more Geopol servers after that. I'm like, well, this is kind of boring, you know? This is just Xylem but worse. And I think the assumption that Xylem 2 would be the same but better is probably what killed the server, because people came back expecting the same experience and they didn't get that. And once they realized they didn't get that, they're like, well, screw this, I'm out. And that was probably the point in which Xylem 2 was sadly dead in the cradle. I really do feel bad because I know people put a lot of work into Xylem 2, but honestly, I'm still a little shocked that we actually decided to go through with it. That people decided, yeah, we should bring Xylem back. Honestly, I think some things are better left behind us. And I think now, as the world is reopening, we need to leave them behind. So anyways, guys, that's what you all thought of my video and what I had to say. I had a lot of fun making this video because it's cool to see what everybody actually thinks of the stuff that I make. And by the looks of it, people really seem to like my Geopol video. But this is probably going to be the last video I make on it for a little while, unless I'm compelled to make something else. I don't want to become a channel that just rags on Geopols because, well, first of all, I have other content to make. I mean, come on, I have plenty of other ideas that are really good and that you should check out. You know, youtube.com/thebigsal. But also because, you know, I just kind of want to leave these behind, you know? They were fun for a while, but now it's over, and I'm ready to move on. So with all that out of the way, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been The Big Sal. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
Woke up this morning, got some gabagoo. And then I woke up the next day and got some gabagoo. Keep waking up and keep getting different types of gabagoo. I even got some gabagoo from a Scooby-Doo. I woke up this morning, I gabagoo.
Shut the fuck up.